VeChain just flipped the script on how your VET tokens work, and if you're still holding them the old way, you're literally leaving money on the table. The Hayabusa Testnet is live right now, there's a 7-day countdown ticking, and by the end of 2025, everything changes. But here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a complete restructuring of who gets paid and who gets left behind. And honestly, most VET holders have no idea what's coming. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I break down exactly what's happening in crypto without the hype and without the nonsense. Today we're dissecting VeChain's Hayabusa hard fork because this is genuinely one of the most significant blockchain upgrades happening right now. Before we dive in, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications because crypto moves fast and you don't want to miss what happens next. So VeChain launched the Hayabusa DevNet back in September after getting community approval. That was phase 1, testing the waters, making sure the code doesn't explode. Now we're in phase 2, the Hayabusa Testnet just went live, and we've got a 7-day transition period that ends November 11th. The team named this upgrade Hayabusa after the Japanese spacecraft that returned asteroid samples to Earth against impossible odds. Dramatic, absolutely, but they're claiming this fork will unlock radical improvements, reinvigorate tokenomics, and empower the entire ecosystem. On July 1st, VeChain introduced something called Stargate, with 5.48 billion VTHO committed to reward early participants. That's not pocket change. Stargate is supposedly the heart of the new ecosystem, the bridge between Hayabusa's economic model and actual user experience. But what does that actually mean for you if you're holding VET right now? Under the old model, you could just hold VET passively and generate VTHO, VeChain's utility token. It wasn't exciting, but it was steady. Hayabusa is killing that model completely. The network is transitioning to Delegated Proof of Stake, which means if you're not actively staking and delegating your VET to validators, you're earning significantly less. The network is transitioning to Delegated Proof of Stake, which means if you're not actively staking and delegating your VET to validators, you're earning significantly less. The team is being crystal clear about this. Holding idle VET may earn less. That's not a warning, that's a promise. According to the VeChain team, VTHO issuance at launch will shrink to approximately 60 to 70% of current levels. Let me say that again, they're cutting VTHO generation by 30 to 40% right out of the gate, but they're promising users, builders, and partners will still benefit from low predictable transaction costs. How? Because VTHO generation is now tied directly to staking, delegation, and actual network participation instead of just passive ownership. This is genuinely clever if it works. They're reducing inflation by linking token issuance to real activity. No more free lunch for people who just hold and forget. The more VET you stake, the more the network grows, the better the rewards. It's an incentive structure that could actually drive meaningful engagement instead of just speculation. They're reducing inflation by linking token issuance to real activity. No more free lunch for people who just hold and forget. The more VET you stake, the more the network grows, the better the rewards. It's an incentive structure that could actually drive meaningful engagement instead of just speculation. In my expert opinion, this addresses one of blockchain's biggest problems: dead capital. Too many networks have tokens sitting in wallets doing absolutely nothing for the ecosystem. VeChain is forcing participation, and while that might annoy passive investors, it's exactly what a working blockchain needs. Let's talk about what Delegated Proof of Stake actually means for VET holders. Under this system, you become a delegator. You're choosing which validators to support with your tokens. The amount of VET delegated determines who validates blocks and earns rewards. It's democracy with a financial incentive, and honestly, it's way better than the old authority node system where a fixed group controlled everything. The validator model is transforming from a static, permission-based system to a dynamic, performance-based competition. Validators now need to maintain consistent uptime, demonstrate transparency, and actually earn community delegations to keep their positions. If a validator gets lazy or unreliable, delegators can move their VET elsewhere. That's real accountability, and it's something most blockchains struggle to implement effectively. Here's something most analysts are missing. By enabling more VET holders to delegate rather than requiring them to run infrastructure, VeChain is lowering the barrier to entry for network participation. That means increased decentralization and community engagement. More participants means more security, more perspectives in governance, and honestly, a healthier network long-term. Now let's talk about VTHO inflation. Under the old model, VTHO issuance was basically static. Tokens were generated whether the network was being used or not. Hayabusa changes that completely by tying VTHO generation to actual activity. If the network usage spikes, rewards increase. If it's quiet, issuance drops. This creates a direct feedback loop between network growth and participant rewards. In my analysis, this alignment between utility and value is exactly what VET needed. The faster and stronger the network grows, the more meaningful your staking rewards become. You're not just earning tokens, you're earning tokens that reflect real economic activity on the blockchain. That's the difference between passive income and actually capturing value from a growing ecosystem. VeChain is also making serious moves on the regulatory front, and this is where things get really interesting. The project has aligned itself with MiCA, the European Union's comprehensive regulatory framework for digital assets. Both VeChain and VTHO have had their white papers officially verified and listed in ESMA's interim MiCA register. According to the team, adoption requires trust, and they're building that trust through regulatory compliance. My take: this is incredibly smart positioning. While other projects are fighting regulators or operating in gray areas, VeChain is getting ahead of the curve. When institutional money eventually flows into crypto at scale, regulated, compliant projects are going to have a massive advantage. This isn't sexy or exciting, but it's strategic, and strategy wins long term. According to Michael Van de Poppe on X, this is the best time to be earning more crypto. He points out that if you earn more tokens at current valuations, you might be looking at 5 to 10 times higher valuations in 6 to 12 months. Van de Poppe specifically mentions VET's Hayabusa and Stargate updates, noting that activating your VET tokens within the ecosystem has been super helpful for additional ROI when assets go up in value. I agree with Van de Poppe's timing here. Accumulating tokens during upgrade phases, especially when new staking mechanisms launch, historically produces strong returns, but there's a caveat: you need to actually participate. Just holding VET in a wallet hoping for price appreciation is the old playbook. The new playbook is staking, delegating, and capturing yield while you wait for valuation growth. The 7-day transition period ending November 11th is your window to get positioned before the testnet moves toward mainnet launch. That's not a ton of time to research validators, understand delegation mechanics, and make informed decisions, but that's the reality of crypto. Things move fast, and hesitation costs money. For VET holders, the question isn't whether this upgrade is significant. It obviously is. The question is whether you're going to adapt to the new model or get left behind while the network evolves without you. Because make no mistake, I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. If this breakdown helped you understand what's happening with VeChain, show some love with a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We've got more deep dives coming on major crypto developments, market analysis, and the moves that actually matter. Check out my other videos, and drop a comment below. Are you staking your VET, or are you waiting to see how this plays out? I want to hear your strategy. Quick reminder: nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrency is extremely volatile and risky. Do your own research, understand the technology, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. VeChain, VET, VTHO, and all cryptocurrencies carry significant risk. Make informed decisions, stay educated, and manage your risk appropriately.